limit their fundraising or their talks or their whatever. They just don't limit it to somebody who believes in everything they say. They show a nice little picture about something being damaged, and they say, give us money, we'll save it. We've got to take a page out of their book. You know, I've heard this said before. I've had discussions with Walt and many of you others out there, and we've talked about it, but we haven't done anything about it. But we're starting to. And that's what today's about, is a start. It's the start of taking control of what we do back. And I think you'll see the players that are involved here, and that's why today isn't about any particular organization or group, it's about everybody. We've got to make this start, and we've got to make it happen. Become a team player. Get behind the teams that are before you. We have some great teams, as I said before, and we keep mentioning them over and over and over again. But as associations, as clubs, I don't like that word because clubs denotes a hobby, and we're not a hobby. So I like the words association better. But we have to stand behind those who are supporting us. Not just with, hey Walt, hey Shannon, keep going. Hey WMA, ICMJ, DPA, get it done for us. No. We've got to support it. We've got to support it with our membership. We've got to support it with our letter writing. Whatever gets out. And we've got to communicate. We can't quibble about it. We can't say, oh, he's got more credit than me or whatever. It's not about credit. It's not about who gets what. It's about preserving our heritage. And if we do that, and we become a team player, and we're starting to, we can move mountains. Not just mountains of dirt. We can move mountains of men, things, laws, people. That's what it boils down to. There's a big awareness going on right now about gold mining. We've got programs on cable TVs that are finding hundreds of ounces of gold, showing us, yellow pans. And we got a lot of people out there going, ooh, if I just could go do that, I'd be rich. Right? And there's people that'll believe Shannon when they say, I've got ounces buried in my backyard. Trust me, my dog's dug them all up. But we've got to take advantage of that. We're at a tipping point right now of awareness that we can latch onto and make a positive spin out of it for all of our associations, our businesses, and things like that, and move this movement forward and gain momentum by latching onto this and utilizing these tools that are given to us to bring people into our fold. Because whether you're a bird watcher or a hiker or a gold miner or a couch sitter or a butterfly catcher or whatever, who don't you talk to that's excited about one of these programs? How come we're not bringing them in? How come we're not getting them involved? How come we're not talking to them about what PLP's doing, what's AMRA doing, what's WMA doing, what's GPA doing, what's your own group doing? And how come we're not getting them involved? How come we don't have a payment plan for them to send off little money to save our little kids out there? I don't have the picture up, but little girls mining, the little girls painting, the little girls in the trough, the little boys. How come we're not saving those children? How come we're not asking for people to save those children and their futures? We need to. Oops, I've got to get over here again. Too far. There we go. Well, that's what we started doing. And actually, a lot of clubs, there I go with that word again. A lot of associations have done this for a long time. We're not unique. I think we probably do a little more than some now. But our old president, Gary Anderson, I used to see him and Eric, our old raffle person, out there, some festival, somewhere, just him and Eric with a pan, with a tub, a couple little things, flyers that they've drawn up, copied. Talking to the people and getting out in front of them. Well, now our club's evolved, our association has evolved. We've got several more people involved. And you just never know who will come to the trough. You look up at the left corner there, that's the Sonora Fairgrounds. That's Governor Jerry Brown. Now, not that we made much headway with him, but we did get his hands in the water. He did find a little gold. And that was the story behind that. That little thing right there is we tracked him all over the fairgrounds to make him come to our booth. We head him off at every exit. So, but now I'm speaking from associations, owners of businesses and things like that. Sometimes maybe you don't have the money to go to a show. Maybe you can help sponsor an association to go there and show some of the things. What we do is we Partners with others. Guys, time to come out of our shell. Who do you know? What hunting club, what off-roading club, what butterfly club, camping club, sports club, Rotary Club, Lions Club, Chamber, Tourism Board. I bet almost everybody in here knows 3 or 4 different organizations or clubs. Now, when I talked about sharing talks with other associations, I've given a talk to the Rotary Club, I've given a talk to the Real Estate Club, I've given a talk to the Lions Club. Don't limit it to golf clubs. Let's get out in the community. You know, they want to hear about it. You'd be surprised at how many people you know that are on your own little circle that is sitting on a couch somewhere watching some guy in Alaska pull out an ounce of gold and saying, well, I wish I could do that. And then he finds out, you're a gold miner? Really? Do you know Fred Hurt?
Fred Hurt.
You know, you'd be surprised at how many people are already interested in what you do, and you don't have conversations with them. You don't bring them into your fold. You don't ask them to sport Walt over at PLP. You don't ask them to sport AMRA. You don't ask them to sport WMA. You don't ask them to sport GPA. You don't ask them to be a part of your family. Why not? They come to your birthday parties. Maybe they just come play soccer with you, or baseball, or football, or something like that. Talk about what you do. Now, I know as miners, we're not very boastful. We're not very, some of us don't like people. Let's face it. Give us a dredged nozzle in the creek so we can bury our face, right? But we've got to come out of that shell. We've got to take that face mask off. We've got to get out of the creek. We've got to start talking to people. We've got to start playing our lives. We've got to start bringing these people into our lives. Because without these people, we fail. Now here's what I mean, and Shannon kind of put this up here earlier. If you can reach many, 1 tells 2, 2 tells 4, 4 tells 8, pretty soon you got a lot of people. And that's important. Who in here has ever been invited to coffee or luncheon, and you go there and somebody starts talking about Amway? Start telling you how you can make $1 million. And you all thought you just came here for the pizza, right? But we kind of got to take a page out of their book. Because we have to build an organization. That's what they do. They build organizations. That's what any business, any organization do, is you have to build the organization. And you got to do that on referrals. You got to talk to people. You got to get out there. You got to talk about what you do, what you believe, what you're doing, what people are doing for you, what rights they're missing. I mean, Shannon talked to you about a lot of rights you're missing. Joe Green, man, if that didn't scare you out of your seat, I don't know what will. That's some serious stuff. It affects everybody. It's not about mining. It's not about fish. It's not about water. It's about survival. It's about freedoms that you don't have anymore, that they're taken away. You know, as a kid, I used to be able to go up on the Stanislaus River. If I knew anything about gold mining, then I might have even got a dredge in that river. Now I can't. It's wild and scenic. When I go up amongst our claims on Buck Meadows Road up by Yosemite, every road I want to go down is closed. You know, we just recently had an issue with the Forest Service. Gate off one of our claims right at the entrance. Done. We're down in our little meeting down in Stockton. Hey, where are we going to go this month? Hey, let's go to our claim up on Buck Meadows. Sure, let's go. We take 40 guys up there. Get out with our shovels. Get up to the gate. Gate? Where'd this come from? Brand new gate, 2 weeks out. Well, If we hadn't been part of other groups, if we hadn't been supporting other groups, if we hadn't been involved in other groups, we'd have probably tuck-tailed and went somewhere else. But because of the work of others, Shannon, PLP, we knew our rights. We knew what we could do. And we were able to go down to the station, which is in Groveland, tell them what we knew, and lo and behold, 30 minutes later, we were on our claim. Gates opened up. But that doesn't happen unless you get involved. But all of you are in business for yourself. If you don't know that already, let me tell it to you. If your people don't know it, then you need to tell them. This is not a hobby. This is a business. And in any business, you want it to grow. And in order for it to grow, you got to tell people. And in order to tell people, you got to share your story. And then you got to encourage them to share your story as well, and their own. The only difference is you're not selling soap. You're not selling shampoo. You're selling your children's futures. Because if you don't start selling those futures now, somebody's going to take it away from them. And they already are. And it's already happening in a big way. Remember these? I had them up earlier. 250,000 members in Greenpeace. 1 million members in the Sierra Club. They started with only a few. And like a fungus, and that's what we got to become, like it or not. They grew. We've got a great grassroots organization here. We've got some wonderful leaders. The tools they put at our disposal, the websites that are up already, we're not using them. Without these kinds of numbers, how do we have a chance? But the good news is we can achieve them. And the good news is that everybody that's sitting in this chair, in that chair you're sitting in today, got here because you wanted to be a part of the solution and you want to be a leader. And just being here today shows that you are. But you can't get full-time results with part-time pay. They treat it like a business. We treat it like a hobby. 2010, Greenpeace took in $35.8 million. Paid $18 million of that in salaries. Can't get a full-time result, part-time pay. In our case, no pay at all. You know, we're asking these folks out there to go fight and be our saviors. We're asking them to give up their lives. We're asking them to give up their dredging, their gold panning, their dry washing, their spelunking, or whatever they do to go out and fight our battles. And they're doing it with pennies. Pennies. With just the organizations involved, I shouldn't hear things like, we've got enough money for this month, but we don't know if we're going to make it to next. You know, I've heard figures, I don't know if they're true or not, you'll have to ask the people who are fighting, but I've heard that, you know, it's $20,000 a month just to keep lawyers moving in this dredging case. How much have you given lately? How much have your organization given lately? How much are you supporting that cause? You know, Reinhardt, the other two dredgers that AMRA's funding. This meeting here today, these things cost money. And we've got to figure out how to raise it. What's the difference between us and these other groups? Sierra Fund, Greenpeace, Difference is that they asked for the money. We've not. Sierra Club is 50% higher paid than any average job in that field. What does that tell you? No. It's telling you they're recruiting the best to win. And they're not playing around about it. It's not that they're smarter than us. It's not that they're brighter than us. It's not that they're better than us. The difference is their action. They're doing something about it. They're getting out there and getting involved. They're talking about children. They're talking about futures. They're talking about things. The problem is that they're lying. And we're not telling enough of the truth. I mean, that's the sad reality about it is we're not standing here saying, hey, that's BS. What you're saying is wrong. What that meeting's saying or stands behind is wrong. You know, you just stood here or sat here and listened to Joe Green go about the science and everything. I've heard him a couple times. I've seen him at some of the Dredger hearings be shut down and not listened to. I mean, the science is there. The numbers aren't. The fact of the matter is we're not doing a good enough job getting enough butts in the seats to make a difference. It's not even about money when it gets down to it. Because if we got enough butts in the seats, we'd get enough wallets out of those butts to make something happen. And we can do it. You know, I've seen our little organization in Stockton, California grow from a budget that was less than $1,000. We struggled just to keep enough money in our account to not have to pay an $8 service charge. You know, now we have triple in that account. We're doing better than we've ever done. We've got more people involved because people want to get involved and people are starting to ask them to get involved. And we're getting a great group of individuals out of it. An average job with Sierra Club, $86,000. An average job with PLP? How much does it cost you all? This is the reality, folks. We've got to step up. Ask not what you can do. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. A famous man once said that. And I wasn't even alive when he said it, but it rings true today. And that's what I'm talking about here is we got to quit asking Walt and Shannon and several others in here, or GPAA or whoever it is, what they can do for us. And we got to start using the tools that they provide for us to help ourselves and do for ourselves and be for ourselves. The life raft's been thrown. It's been out there for years. The tools have been in play for a long, long time. But too few are using those tools. Too few are in the struggle. And we're rooting them on, but we're not grabbing the life raft and swimming with it. It's just dangling out there in the water. We've got to reach for that life raft. Here's your call to action. It's right now, it's right here, it's today. The tools that are provided for you from the entities that are here at this meeting today are priceless. People have given their lives for this cause. We've got to run with mantle. We've got to take those tools. The United States has a population of 318.9 million people. It's probably more because that's an old thing. Our opposition is less than 1% of our population. 1% is driving us. Less than 1%. That's it. There's 315 million left. There's 315 million we can get on our side. 315 million we can get to our cause if we could just get to 2%. 2%. That's not much. How many you think will convert? How many you think will get behind a true environmentalist? How many people have you asked? Especially once they know the truth. What will it take? Well, folks, again, we're not your knights in shining armor. We're not Superman, Spider-Man. We're just men. It just is that way. You've got to be your own Superman. Oh, there he is. He's almost tall enough. So what's it going to take? We're not standing here today trying to get you to switch teams. We're standing here today trying to get you to support your team. We're trying to get you to stand up for your right to bat. We're trying to stand here today and get you to go out in the field and catch a ball. We're trying to get you to be involved and get your people involved. We've got to educate the non-mining community. Listen, folks, I don't care how you stack it, or how many miners are in California, Montana, Colorado, in the GPA, PLP, AMRA, Delta. We don't have enough members to make a difference. We have to expand our thinking. We have to get our uncles or brothers, uncles, and sisters involved. We've got to get our neighbor, our pastor, our soccer team coach, whoever. We've got to get them involved. We've got to get them talking about it. We've got to get them talking about our cause. We've got to get our butts out to fairs, festivals, parades, whatever venue that we can talk to, whatever venue that we can get in front of. If you're not a great public speaker, half of this other room probably is, and we could probably get them to go. But we need to get involved. And we need to start asking for help to get involved. If you don't know how to do it, that's fine. There's people in this room that do. And more than enough of them are willing and able to help you, and if you just ask. We got to show off the benefits of mining. People don't know that they're talking on a cell phone. They drove here. They sleep on. They eat something that's mined. They simply think that those bad miners go away, everything's going to be fine. And they'll be knocked back into the Stone Age.
No, because they won't be mining.
True. But, Joe had it up on the screen, what their agenda is. Now you're starting to get a picture of what it's about. They're ticking off one thing at a time. And we're that next thing. And they've got our numbers down so much, and we've been sitting in a hole mining with our face in the creek and not paying attention to what they're doing. We've had a lot in this room and a lot in the past screaming and talking to us that we've got to do something different, and we haven't. And that's what today's about. The days of letting things go past us is gone. We have an open window here. If we don't take advantage of this window, it will close. So we've got to build partners in other outdoor enthusiasts. We can't let the fishermen say we kill fish anymore when they're standing there with a stringer of 10. We've got to get them on. We've got to get them on board. They don't understand that, if we fall, they fall. Even the environmentalists don't understand that by giving to the Sierra Fund and by giving to a lot of these organizations, that they're going to lose a lot of their privileges for doing so. They're funding their own demise. I know a lot of green people, and they don't agree with me. I like electric cars. Now, I don't like them because they save power. I like them because they are power. But a lot of people that I talk to in that community think we're bad. And I ask them, well, if you like electric so much, where would you get the copper? Where would you get the lead? Where would you get the steel if you didn't have us miners? They don't understand that they're funding their own demise. And we're not telling them that. We're just calling them, greenies, tree huggers, whatever else we want. But again, we've got to stay positive. We've got to look for a solution. If we call them names, they're going to call us names. If we tell them, hey, we can appreciate that. I like electric power too. But this is why I like it. It provides jobs. For every motor that I have in my car, that's 20 pounds of copper that's got to be mined. That's 1,000 pounds of lead. Somebody's got to do it. Look how many people that puts to work. Isn't that a great thing? I like electric because it's powerful. It's got more torque per square inch than any gasoline motor. Why do you think we use it in the mines? Why do you think they use it in industry? Why do you think all the locomotives are electric? It's the most efficient way to move material. I like electric for that. Electric's good for that. I can embrace that. But more importantly, I can embrace it because it puts people to work. It puts miners to work. It puts manufacturers to work. It eliminates welfare states. That's why I can get behind that. If you talk to a green person on those bases, they'll go, yeah, why not think of that? But we have to get talking on their level. That 1% that's against us, 90% of them would turn on their team if they knew their team was against them. They're batting for a team that is fixing the score. They don't know that. They don't know that they can't win with the team they're on, and we're not telling them that they're on the wrong team. Again, if we keep our message positive, supportive, truthful, it'll win every time. And we can build more partners with that. Now here's the real deal. What will it take? Lots and lots and lots of money and paid staff. Folks, again, you can't get a full-time result on part-time pay or no pay at all. Every dime that PLP takes in, every dime that AMRA takes in, every dime that WMA takes in goes out. And it doesn't go out to keep somebody fed, it goes out to keep some lawsuit going, some lawyer paid. Which I don't mind if lawyers get paid if they're fighting for us. But if we don't get some full-time butts in the seats on these things that are fighting for us, have you ever gone up against an insurance company? You don't win very often, do you? Why is that? That guy gets paid 8 hours a day to figure out how to keep your money from you. Listen, I'm proud to be called a miner. I'm proud to be in our community. It's one of the best communities I've ever been in, one of the most honest group of people I've ever been around. I've just never met a bunch of better people. And I'm here to tell you, it's not all doom and gloom. Together, we can keep this from continuing and pass down our heritage. We can open the roads, take down the boulders, change the attitudes of people, and bring more people into our fold. But we've got to apply action. Because if we don't, and I'll leave you with this, who will? Who will protect the heritage of our children? Thank you. And now Shannon, we want to take a break first.
Hey guys, let's just take a quick 10 minutes. We're running a little bit behind here. This last segment isn't going to take an hour, but it's the single most important thing that we're going to talk about today, and I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. So 10 minutes only, please.